This book review is a continuation of the Antarctica series. It's by SEBASTION, COPELAND, and it's got a foreword by Mikhail Gorbachev. And it's a continuation of a lot of the research that's going on up here, but it's kind of a sequel to the book I did previous on Antarctica. It calls for environmental action. The publisher is it's not where it's supposed to be. It's put out by WARE Editions out of San Rafael, California. Finally found it. It's in the last page. There's a good picture of the ice pack over the mountains. You can see how much ice is on there. It's also very black. There's a picture of a penguin on all the ice packs out there. This book's more or less a accumulated call for doing something about global warming and the consequences of not doing anything. So after they did all that research out there, there's a picture of ice, and you see, notice the blue. Because the blue is the sun. Sun's rays cause that blue ice over a long period of time. I've had different people explain that to me that do studies into ice. Here's a picture of ice with the ash on it. The explanation for that is it was a volcano that did that, but there's no active volcano out there right now. So how long ago that occurred that'd be a big question. Here's one of the caves that they think the Germans hid one of their submarines in, one of their secret bases in Antarctica. You can see the tunnel where they actually blew it out, probably with dynamite or something, and they were hiding some of their submarines up there. They were diesel submarines, so you can see where the diesel smokestack created the blackening in it. But they did, the Germans did hide submarines down there during World War II. There's some more examples of blue ice. This book has some good pictures of strange formations in ice. I wouldn't want to be the photographer that has to go out there and take this, because it's very pretty cool and isolated. It's kind of, but there are aesthetic values to it as far as art goes. It's a good picture of whale bones. There's some interesting, this book's got a lot of good artistic, it's done from the artistic point of view, not really from research like the other book review. So if you're looking for some really neat artistic pictures of unusual phenomena in Antarctica and features, this is one of those books. It's a good picture of two penguins. picture of a seal. See where the whale died out there and got buried in the ice, and now it's dried up and the whale bones are still out there. So it shows you as the Antarctic continent is shrunk, it's revealing dead whales and other things that died out there and got flash frozen or something happened. Let me get a picture of Antarctica. You can see where the ice is starting to melt some. There's a Panamanian boat, research boat that sailed down there. Who knows, maybe they're doing some diving down there or something, I don't know. There's a lot of countries out there. Nobody owns Antarctica, so anybody or any country around the world has the rights to it. There's nobody that really has any claim to Antarctica. There's another neat ice feature. There's a pretty good photographer that took all these, that took pictures of the unusual formations that ice has out there. It also gives off stories as to what the climate and stuff has done over the years. There's some strange pictures in here that you wonder, what is the history of Antarctica? There's a shelf breaking off. It is continuing to break off. And as the shelf breaks off, the salinity of the ocean also goes up. And ocean levels go up. So there's a neat picture of a glacier that's kind of halfway submerged. You can see what the problem with the Titanic, they didn't see what was all underneath the glacier. They only saw the top part of it. So they didn't get a whole lot of warning. And I think the scout that was supposed to be watching for the icebergs was kind of probably a little bit of inebriated. Here's a strange picture of a huge wave action that they got frozen. And you know, as I said earlier, that the upper atmosphere can dive down to down to the lower atmosphere. And I wonder if that's what caused this frozen factor in Antarctica, because it looks like a wave or a stormy ocean got frozen, and that's how you get these features. That's one of my theories. If you're a researcher and buying these kind of books and these pictures tell a story, and you can study wave action and stuff and visualize it just by freezing the frame of what ocean waves and stuff, and you also get this effect. So it's a telltale story. Even if you don't have the money to go down there to Antarctica, you can still do active research and trying to figure out what kind of storm it was that would have created that fast of frozen features. There's a lot going on. You can also see some greenish area where some stuff that was dirt and stuff in the seafloor was coming up too. So you're getting a lot of wave action, and then all of a sudden it gets frozen solid. So as I was saying earlier, you know, one of my theories that the Earth has been frozen in the past and moved, and the turbulence and stuff that would have been created during that process, what ET was moving the Earth, would have possibly have created that frozen waves. You know, I have my doubts as they've had their geological history on the Earth. I have my doubts about the carbon dating, very serious doubts on that, and there's no explanation for these kind of geological features in South America, in Antarctica, especially in this picture here. You know, they're taking core samples out there and, you know, trying to get dates and stuff on some of that stuff. But I mean, you have to, their theories on that is also based on, is carbon dating and that stuff very accurate? And I have my serious doubts that it is. I don't think it's the best form of dating. I don't think it's very accurate. But it's a good picture that would, if I was out there in Antarctica and I was taking this picture, I would go out there and take samples of this green stuff. Here, I'll show you the picture again. I would take core samples of this stuff to see if it's algae or seafloor material. And especially over in here, you can clearly see that it looks like ocean material. I mean, surface material that was on the bottom of the ocean and was going up, and it got caught in the flash frozen. It's 300 degrees below zero in outer space, so if that atmosphere dived down and any kind of wave action, it hits the ocean and during a storm or something, which is what this would indicate, it will freeze a wave in its place, so you get this interesting effect. Don't believe me? Take a picture of a storm, a very serious storm, you know, one of the real hurricane, and take a picture of a typhoon and stop the motion of the pictures, and you'll see a lot of this kind of formations, and compare it with the picture, you'll see that kind of turbulence in a typhoon. The thing about typhoons is they go in phases. This is more of a kind of just a lot of stormy hurricane action that's going on around the edges and stuff. So that doesn't mean this is a typhoon, but it might be. But either way, if the upper atmosphere dips out of the lower atmosphere, even with a typhoon, it will freeze it, and you'll get this effect. So, you know, if you're a researcher, these kind of books are great information, and you're limited on being able to spend and travel a lot and take these core samples of where some of the places where they need to be. You know, it's pretty valuable. Here's another good example of that scoop effect. You know, it's kind of a strange, real flat on top, and then you get the scoop where the water, the waves that come underneath it and carved it and eroded it out. There's another picture of the front of the sailboat and what they're looking at when they're looking for ice out there. That's the lookout point, especially when they're moving. It's really crystal clear up here. I mean, it's great photographic place to take photographs, but it's very cold. Alright, does this one out.